Hello and welcome to the Video Game Town Hall Meeting podcast. Just by listening, you are a city council member sitting in their seat, waiting for the docket of the day. Boy, do we have a very special town hall meeting. We are joined not only by myself, Jared Russo, your host, and of course Grant Bruner. We both run videogame.town.
Hello.
We are joined by the most special guest in the history of the podcast. Grant, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Merritt K is a Canadian writer, video game designer, author, podcaster, extraordinaire, and the only person I've ever spoken to with a Wikipedia page. Merritt K, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks for having me. I thought you were going to say Bubsy, so I'm kind of bummed out that I'm not going to get to talk to Bubsy, but we can just sort of emulate that experience by just making really bad quips every 5 seconds, I guess.
I also think that this is the sign that we need to create a new Bubsy, and Merritt needs to voice Bubsy.
Hey, I've got terrible/great news. There's a new Bubsy coming out.
Oh no!
Wait, is it in 2 dimensions or 3 dimensions?
It's 3D. It's called Bubsy 4D.
I mean, listen, lean into it being bad.
Yeah, maybe they will. But yeah, thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Merritt, we want to make sure that people know that you have recently published something that we would like everybody to know about. You want to give us a rundown on Vampirocene?
Oh yeah, sure. So yeah, I put out a novella called Vampirocene, Anthropocene, and it is a climate horror novel about vampires trying to take over the world to stop climate change because they're we're the ones who are going to have to live in a fucked up, horrible world. So they are trying to stop that. And it's a fun book. It's a pretty brisk read. It's about 105 pages, I think. And it is $3 on itch.io. If you just search Vampirocene, you'll find it. Or if you go to merrittk.itch.io. And I also just put it up on Amazon. So if you are a Kindle person, then you can get it on there. It's ebook only right now. I may do a print run at some point in the future. But yeah, great cover art by Trevor Henderson, who created Siren Head, if you are familiar with that guy. And many other things. Trevor's a great artist. But yeah, if you like horror, if you like vampires, if you like stories about posting and being too online and spending too much time in your house, then yeah, I think you'll like it.
I think the cover art is horrific, but parentheses,
yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah, I've had some complaints about people. It's because I've been promoting it since it came out, and people are like, "Hey, that's a really gnarly thing to see on my timeline every day." And it's yeah, but look at it this way: if you buy the book, I won't have to keep posting about it, and so the odds that you'll see it on your timeline again go down.
Listen, it's a horror book about vampires. You want the mouth to be all gross and messed up.
Yeah, it's a real gross, scary mouth on the cover. So I'm sorry if you have teeth stuff, then you may not be able to look at the book long enough to buy it. But I didn't think of that. So I could be losing people with teeth stuff. But
also, I just think that itch.io is it's been in the news for the terrible nightmare stuff, but it's also just the coolest place to that a bunch of cool weird art is published. Not only because people obviously associate with games, and rightfully so, it is primarily what the platform is, but there's also just people who just publish art, and some of it is for free, and some of it is hey, pay what you want, or some of it is hey, give me $10 and you'll get this PDF of this cool art I did. And I think that is it, having such a simple and low barrier to entry tool to do cool weird art is rad.
Yeah, no, it's just great. I've been I've been using them for over a decade at this point. I was putting stuff up on there back in 2013 or something, because back then also what people don't remember is that Steam didn't used to have this open platform. Right now you can just go, I forget if it's $200 or something, which is still pretty steep for some people, but you can just go on Steam and give them some money and they'll vet your thing and then put your game on. 10 years ago, we had Greenlight, I think it was called.
Yeah, Steam Greenlight to basically prove to Valve that you're worth having on Steam.
Right, which was so funny because and then before that there was nothing like that. So it was you had to have a publisher basically, and It was so
or know somebody
funny.
at Valve. Yeah, you,
because
literally had to know the right person.
right, like the only downside for Steam in terms of just having open stuff is that it's maybe slightly degraded the quality, the average quality, but Steam's filters are so good that like stuff that is like obviously junk doesn't really get surfaced very well, as opposed to like the eShop on Switch where it's like,
oh boy,
I'm just seeing literally every game that comes out is like Hentai Match 3. That's weird that that's on Nintendo.
Yeah, I do walk this weird line where it's like I absolutely want all of like, I think porn art is fine, like erotica is fine. I think, especially like in queer context, I think it's like rad and that it's available. I do think it is really weird before all of this blew up, but like I would just look at like a visual novel on Steam, like a non-erotic visual novel on Steam, and it would be like, hey, do you want all of this porn? I'm like,
yeah,
let's dial it back just a tad. That can still exist without it being like, you want porn, right?
Yeah, I mean, and the weird thing is like on the Switch, obviously you aren't allowed to do that. Like they just, it's Nintendo, so like you can't put just like hardcore pornography on Nintendo. But there are still all these games just called like Hentai Match 3, and I don't know if there are age settings or anything, but it's weird just to see that like next to like, oh, Mario Kart, or a game with like where it's just like cash in weird title that you're hoping people will buy. Like, I don't know.
Listen,
the slop has gotten way
open
weirder.
The floodgates.
Yeah, weirder.
Absolutely.
We're like in the Nintendo DS era, it was basically just a notes app, but in like 8 different versions, slightly different themed. And hey, you can pay us $3 a pop to do a notes app in different shades or whatever. And now it's like, hey, do you want cartoon ladies with their tops off?
I mean, yeah, that was, and like Nintendo was doing that too. Like, they were just like, hey, do you want a clock? Do you want Mario clock? Do you want Zelda clock?
Yeah.
Do you want Mario calendar? So yeah, I don't know. The point is though, it's just great. And obviously there's been some stuff lately with payment processors. My take on that is that it really isn't their, I don't think they're the villain that people are making them out to be. And I think people are also really quick to forget that these platforms are run by people who need to like eat, and it lets you put 0% as your like revenue share, which is wild. Steam just takes 30% just for the privilege of being on Steam.
Yeah.
And
I mean, like the payment processor are clearly the problem. Like it's
exactly
not even close. Like Itch are doing their best under very, very suboptimal circumstances.
It's a good thing Nintendo didn't make Mario Clock IRL. Oh, I know.
They did do that.
Made Mario Clock, although they didn't make all the anime smut like
yet
step cousins.
Yes, Jared. The night is young. You want to move us on to the next topic?
Grant came to me and he said that he really wanted to discuss Kirby sidekicks. And I said, Grant, let's think of something better than Kirby sidekicks. Let's talk about games that make us feel things. And he said, okay.
Kirby Air Rider.
That's not true. No. It was the opposite. It was the opposite. He wanted to talk about the games that made us feel something, whether that be crying or feeling joy or being frustrated or in awe. Things that grabbed us by the collar and shook us, and we're still telling people to play Gone Home this many years later.
Yeah, so I want to make a small caveat. This is not really about like the games that you thought were good, that you were like, man, this made me feel happy that it's good.
Yeah.
But like, so like, I think that the number one with a bullet example for this is what made me think about it. I totally cry when like sad things happen in my real life. I am not like, I don't not cry, but typically media doesn't make me cry. The biggest counterexample to that in video games is the very end of Kentucky Route Zero. I don't know, Merritt, have you ever played Kentucky Route Zero?
I have not played it, which is shameful of me, but obviously I am aware of it.
It is a game that is all about working class struggle, especially in, like, Kentucky's in the name, is Appalachia, which is where half my family's from. Community through suffering and all that very much made me cry. But then I also thought, like, what is like kind of the opposite of that? Something that was like so transcendent in terms of like joy. Getting to the higher levels of Tetris Effect is something where it's just like I feel high, not in a necessarily like necessarily a stereotypical way, but it's just like it feels like I have like transitioned from my normal state into a different brain state. Is something like when you're getting all the way in where your controller is vibrating like wild, and the audio and video is so overwhelming, and you're intensely focused on Tetris. It very much feels like you have like left the plane of existence, and I think that is a great example. Merritt, I don't know if there are any games that like stand out. Like, what are some like the most extreme experiences in terms of like emotions?
Yeah, so I have kind of a weird one that people who haven't played it might not really expect, but have either of you played Warframe?
I very, very briefly, I have tried it in a couple of hours, and it seemed extremely cool, but it was a couple of years into existing, and the onboarding process was pretty intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, our friend Jack is a huge Warframe fanatic, and I played an hour with him, and I was like, not for me, but
I think it is for me. It's just that it is like do you want to dedicate 10 hours a week for the rest of your life?
Yeah, no, it's a live game, and they fundamentally are inimical to a human existence, but Warframe, so there's gonna be like pretty big Warframe spoilers here, but I think at this point they are out in the open, and they weren't for like a long time, which is the crazy thing about this. Warframe is like you're playing as a space ninja robot that kills people with like swords and guns and space magic, and the whole time you're like sort of taking orders from this character named the Lotus. You are just like fighting a bunch of different space aliens and monsters and stuff, and doing backflips and shit, and it's cool. It's just like a fun action game, and the whole time it's kind of like unclear, like, okay, so like, because you can switch Warframes, like you can switch between like one that is really good with fighting with swords and one that can control music and sound to like do different things, and it's like, okay, so like, are these like skins, or like who, what is the deal here? Like, am I like a spirit inhabiting these things, or what? And then like several years into the game's existence, because it is a live game, so they keep adding to it, several years into it, you got this mission where you are like, get this message from the Lotus, and she's like, oh, okay, the source of your power is under attack. It's on the moon. They're attacking the moon. We've got to go to the moon, which you've never been to before. We got to like protect it, because if you don't, you're gonna die, because your Warframe powers will be destroyed or whatever. And you're like, okay, I gotta go protect this magic space crystal that's like powering me or whatever. And you get there, and like you fight through this huge thing, and when you get to the end of it, there's this pod that opens up, and there's a human child inside, and the view switches from your Warframe character to that of the human child, and you realize the entire time you have been like a child soldier war mind pilot on the moon in kind of like a coma, controlling these Warframes, and then you as the Warframe have to carry yourself out, like walking slowly back to your ship, and from then on you're that character. You can customize that character, and then you're like in your spaceship controlling the Warframe. So it was just like such a mind blown moment, and it was handled so well. But it's very like emotional, very like very intense. And Warframe's actually had a few moments like that, which is kind of wild for a game about being a space robot ninja. But their writing is just really great. I don't play it anymore. I fell off of it, but that was a wild thing to experience.
Hearing something like that makes me want to play it. The only problem is knowing that, like, oh, that would, 200 hours in, it's the same thing with, like, Final Fantasy XIV. I have no problem believing that game is incredible, that game has incredible stuff in there. It is just do I have 200-300 hours to dump into Final Fantasy XIV?
Yep. Yeah, I've tried FF14 like 3 times, and I just bounce off it. I can't do it.
Yeah, the early stuff is like, oh, this is like the stuff that you make me do at the beginning is trash MMO design. Like, oh, I hate this. And then it's like, no, but it gets good. It's 60 hours in, and I'm like, I believe you. I don't doubt that it's good, but and also I guess the reality is I should probably just watch some YouTube videos, huh?
Yeah, I mean that would help.
Yeah. Jared, do you have any examples of something that makes you feel an extreme in some way?
I do. I have a few. The biggest one that comes to mind for me is more tied to what age I was and the circumstance I was in more than it was about the game. But there were many years of my childhood where I was sort of more or less homeless, sort of bouncing around between different people's places and cars or whatever. And there was me and my Game Boy Advance, and I was playing whatever number of the Mario. You remember, like they ported the Mario games to Game Boy Advance,
and they called them Mario Advance,
and they gave them
2,
stupid
3,
numbers.
4, yeah,
yeah. It was like Super Mario Brothers 4, SMB3, and it was Super Mario Brothers Super Mario World for the SNES on my Game Boy Advance, and I beat it. And it was the only thing I had to do. I mean, it was like stare at a wall or play this game. It's my favorite game. And the music they played during the credits made me cry. But I think that was more about like where the fear of like what goes next, like what comes after this. Like I've finished the game, I don't have anything else to do. I have nothing. But that music still kind of chokes me up when it's like the end credits and it's the fireworks and he saves Princess Peach. But it's specifically the music where it's just da-da-da-da-da. It's like the slow, like old timey piano. So that's like a very vivid memory. That's my favorite game ever.
That is interesting. I do wonder if like if there is something about like the music in the highly emotional moment that really like kicks it into overdrive, because there is basically a hymn that's being sung at the end of Kentucky Route Zero. Because the soundtrack is incredible and I listen to it, and when that comes in, I can kind of get a little bit choked up. I do wonder if because there is like this like really good music attached to this moment, that is what makes you like stick in your memory like really, really strong.
Yeah, like the ending of or not the ending, but like the sequence in Odyssey that we both love.
Oh yeah, of course. Yes.
Jump Up Superstar.
Oh god, yeah. Is that with when it goes 2D when you're climbing up the side of it?
Yeah, with Pauline.
Yeah,
and
that was great.
I think it might be the music that like, it's a little dusty. It gets a little misty-eyed.
Yeah.
So that was the first thing I thought of. The second thing I thought of was this out-of-body experience, I guess for lack of a better phrase, that I was so in awe of what I was playing, and it was so unlike anything I had ever experienced, and it was just this thing of like, no one can do this but video games, which I don't know if that's true, but that's how I felt, was when I played Katamari Damacy for the very first time. I went in blind, people were like, this is the greatest music, and it looked trippy, and you're going through and you see the story of this like family, and like the kids are seeing the ball roll and they're like, "God, are you seeing this? Like, this is crazy." And that's how I felt playing it, where I was looking around like, does anyone else notice how nuts this game is? And when like Lonely Rolling Star kicks in and you're just like, I don't know what universe I'm in, but like, this is the greatest feeling I'm ever having. Like, it's like when you play Tetris and you just zone out, you zen out. That's the sort of like, you forget you're playing a game, you forget there's a TV, you're in that world, and you're just vibing, and you're in it, and you come out and you're just like, man, like, what freight train hit me? Give me the number of the car that ran me over.
Yeah. So, Merritt, I don't know if you experience it. I think that lots of people talk about in video games that I have never been able to really experience, or at least not in the way that other people describe it, is immersion. Like, everything falls away, and like you are like the character that is on the screen. I never really experienced that, and Jared, I know you do experience that. I don't know if Merritt, if you have any like insight in like what if you do get it, what the experience is like what are the things that make that happen?
I don't know if I have. Maybe when I was a kid, but nothing comes to mind. And I think it's only gotten less likely as I've gotten older, and there's like a million more distractions. But definitely, like I used to, I think, I would get into a space of just like focusing on something really strongly. Whereas now I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna set aside a time to play a level of a game tonight. Whereas as a kid, it's like, I'm going to stay up all night in the summer and like just play Knights of the Old Republic or something, or like Metroid Prime.
Yeah.
And I don't, occasionally, like every couple of years, something will grab me like that. But I don't know that I ever feel like transported in that same way, which I think is fine. But
I mean, I certainly don't. And I think for me, the closest that I ever get to it is VR. I don't know if you've ever used like a VR headset.
I have, yeah.
But like when the idea of presence of basically like something like a job simulator or vacation simulator, where it's like you are doing the things in the world where the stuff that's happening around you kind of like fades away and it feels like you are in the thing, I think is the closest I ever get to this idea. But I do think that it's different because you're like literally like cutting off the rest of your senses from reality. Jared, do you have any?
I think when I like was younger and I didn't have a phone buzzing every 10 goddamn seconds, I could sit and play a first-person shooter and just melt into the screen where like you just forget that you're sitting and you forget that you're thinking, and like your limbs become the limbs in the game. So it's like it doesn't even feel like you're holding a controller playing it. You're just like so sort of like focused in on the action that like you just time passes and then you forget that like, oh, lunch was 2 hours ago. I like didn't eat food today. You know, like that, like like it used to happen a lot more. And now it's a lot harder because like I like to listen to a podcast when I'm like playing something that doesn't require audio. Or, you know, like my fiance is roaming around the apartment, or my phone you know, like there's just like a gazillion things that will zap you out. Which brings me to another quick story. Turning off all the lights and just playing Gone Home, and a veil was lifted over my face being like, video games can do this. And the roller coaster of emotions I went through where I'm like, I'm nostalgic, and now I'm like questioning everything, and now I'm curious about the weird JFK assassination books, and now I'm afraid because the hallway light burst and I'm in the dark, and now I'm like, oh my god, is that blood in the bathtub? Oh, it's hair dye? Like, that game did things that I was like, okay, like, maybe when people played Metal Gear Solid back in the day, it pulled that off, but for some reason it took me a while to find out. I was like, oh no, like, we're here. Like, we can do these kind of adult stories and this kind of a narrative in such a way that I don't have to punch or slash or kick or shoot or drop puzzle pieces. Like, this is a type of game that I want more of, and thankfully we got walking simulators, despite how awful that subgenre name is.
I mean, the name is bad, but like there was something in the water in the early 2010s of people doing a lot of like really interesting like exploration on, because I think to some extent it was like because indie games all of a sudden became a thing that you could do. Like people obviously talk about like, oh, the Xbox Live Arcade kind of the start, but like the late aughts, early 2010s, like it's where a lot of what becomes indie games really starts to take off. And I have a somewhat similar experience, and like weirdly it is also a walking sim, but Dear Esther is like a the idea of like the main verb is explore, like where you there isn't an additional thing you're doing, you're just exploring a space and, you know, interacting with the, you know, also it's like a little bit of like proc gen or at least randomized aspects of storytelling, which is also like was very very haute couture at the time. It's, I mean, that kind of stuff, realizing that there are different things of games, like expanding your horizons is definitely, I think, a good experience of that, of like, or like you know, it is leaving you in awe and like, oh, the way that I was conceptualizing games is really limited. There's actually a lot more stuff you can do with games. All right. Jared, what have you been playing lately?
A lot of Kirby games.
Hell yeah.
I know you joke about Kirby Air Riders getting a 45-minute direct today or whatever, but I've been doing the Kirby Chronicles, where I play every Kirby game released from the originals till, I guess, I have to buy Kirby Air Riders now. Joke's on me. I'm really enjoying the experience. I'm really liking how well those original games hold up. All the Kirby magic is in those first Game Boy and NES games. I wasn't kind of expecting it to like control so well and like have the songs and the enemies and the ability, like it's all there. It just is either 8-bit or 16-bit. And I'm really loving my time. But now I'm in the sort of like glut of spin-offs where it's golf or Puyo Puyo, or so like I'm in, you know, pinball. I want to get out of that, and I want to get back to the platformers, and eventually start buying or legally obtaining some things for my 3DS that can play DS and 3DS games.
Yeah. And then you've also been playing UFO 50?
UFO 50, I played every one of the 50 games. Most of them are not for me. That's fine. You poke your head in. But there's one that really got the hook in my mouth real hard, and that's Pilot Quest, where it's this... It's not cookie clicker, but it's like a what's the words I'm looking for?
Idle game?
Like the idle, like the time base, where it's like you do a thing and you get some items and you buy a thing to upgrade another thing, but then you gotta wait, so you pop into the other UFO 50 games and you come back and it's like, here are 2,000 gems, and then you go out into the world and it's a bit like Dark Souls, where you don't want to die, you lose your loot, and you come back, and it's like, that really got its hooked into me. That's my favorite one of those. So I want to write about that for the website. But most of the UFO 50 games are interesting swings and misses. which I wasn't expecting. I was hoping one of them would or more than one of them would capture my attention, but only one really did.
I think it's very much targeting people that are slightly older than you. I think probably if you were born in the late 70s or early 80s instead of the like late 80s, early 90s, it would probably hit you a lot harder because it would be dealing with your nostalgia a lot more. I also think that when you're casting that broad of a net, where like, hey, here are 50 kinds of games like that are supposed to be in like an 8-bit capability space. I think you're saying, hey, well, yeah, lots of these aren't going to like hit you, like but the number of the games that do, like these 4 games that I really like are going to be different depending on the different person. I think that's kind of like the really cool part of UFO 50, is how there's so much variety on offer that eventually there's going to be something that is going to hit you. And I think that's such an ambitious, very, very cool thing. And I'm so happy that it exists.
Yeah, I'm really liking the aesthetic and the soundtracks and the variety. I think there were like 2 racing games I would like kind of got into, but it is an impressive package that like is not something I'm gonna like keep returning to after I've gone through all 50. But yeah, man, Pilot Quest is real good.
And Merritt, when I reached out to you about this podcast, you said that you were playing a bunch of Wii games, and that got me very excited. What have you been playing?
So I did actually just play a Kirby game. I played Epic Yarn.
Oh yeah,
yes,
which I had.
It's one of the best.
Yeah, so my thing with the Wii was like I didn't have a ton of money when the Wii was out. Like I had one, but I could basically afford to get like one game every 6 months, if that. And I was prioritizing like Mario Kart and WarioWare and stuff that I could play with my friends. And so there's all these like really interesting games that came out for that console that I never played just because I couldn't justify them and I didn't have money. So yeah, like things like Epic Yarn, which I just played through, and really cute, really, really neat little game. Had a lot of fun with that.
It's really beautiful. I love the way that game looks.
It looks so good.
It's awesome.
It's really cool. And then I played another game that like I couldn't justify buying at the time because of like its structure and how it was. This was back when you had to like think about like, oh, am I going to get my money's worth out of this? Whereas now it's like, am I going to be able to finish this in a reasonable amount of time, or is this going to eat 200 hours of my life? And it's so funny how things like Xbox Live Arcade and like digital distribution and like the omnipresence of sales and also just like the huge boom in indie games has meant that equation has become completely flipped, at least for me. And I assume probably for a lot of kids too, because it's like, oh, I could just play Fortnite or Roblox for free and like forever. But so I played Sin and Punishment Star Successor, and that's a video game. I'll tell you what.
I don't. That doesn't even ring a bell. That doesn't even sound like I was alive and an adult.
You don't know?
During the
you don't know about this one?
The entirety of the Wii, and Sin and Punishment Star Successor does not ring a single bell to me.
So do you know about Sin and Punishment?
I don't.
Okay, so it was a Nintendo 64 game that was never released in the West, and then when the Wii came out, they put it on the Virtual Console because all of its dialogue was already in English, but it just never got released in the US. And it's a rail shooter by Treasure, who...
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at the Wikipedia page now, and it looks like very much of an era.
Yeah, so the N64 one I played when that was released on the Virtual Console, and liked it. It's very much a Treasure game, incomprehensible plot, just really great action. And Star Successor is the Wii sequel. And again, completely incomprehensible story. And I'm not saying that in like a JRPG way where there's like twists and stuff. It's just like, no, there's just a lot of proper nouns and people just doing things for reasons that aren't really clear. People turning into monsters.
You need an encyclopedia of the world.
Yeah.
Dude, this game looks awesome. It's like Wild Guns, but JRPG.
Yeah, Star Successor is really gorgeous. It still holds up visually, I think. And it just has this really, really cool like system where it's a little like a Star Fox 64, I guess, where you're moving around the screen and then the Wiimote is your aiming system, which works really well. And you can also do like a little close range attack, but you can use that to reflect projectiles as well.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
there's
it makes sense that like the Wii is like kind of like the perfect light gun adjacent platform.
yeah. I mean, there was that House of the Dead game on there that was really good. But yeah, it's a super super cool game. Pretty tricky. Like I got stuck a few times on normal, and I think there are people obviously who can like no hit it on hard, which is wild to me. But yeah, really fun. And then I just started playing Mad World, which is again one of those games where when it came out, I was like, oh, that looks different, but I can't risk it. And that game is extremely 2008 coded. It has the. Do you know about Mad World? Do you know this one?
It's black and white.
Yeah. Like
it's
it's very much like three. I'm trying to think 300, like where it's like where it's black and white or grayscale, but then it has like pops of blood, right?
Yeah, so it's the first Platinum game.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I love Platinum games. So I've never played Mad World.
Yeah, it predates Bayonetta and Vanquish. I don't know that I haven't played Bayonetta. I don't know that it's as good as Vanquish. And yeah, it's extremely 2009, I guess. And just like they were trying to make a game that would appeal to Americans, so it's all these huge guys just cutting each other's heads off with chainsaws. And while Linkin Park inspired hip hop plays, and then there's like announcers because it's like supposed to be like a sports thing kind of. And God, who are the it's John DiMaggio and Greg Proops.
Okay, sure.
As the announcers, so it's.
I mean, because Greg Proops is one of the announcers in Episode 1 in Star Wars Episode 1.
So it's like it's like that guy
his character
and Bender just like yelling at each other,
or Marcus Phoenix.
Yeah. So I'm not that far into it. It's really interesting to see a Japanese dev try to be like, okay, we got to make an American video game that for Americans, and that's what they
love. Murder.
They love killing. They love Sin City. They love Frank Miller, obviously.
Yeah.
They love Greg Proops. They can't get enough of Whose Line.
Pod racing. We just can't. We just love pod racing so much. Which is, listen, as an American, I have to say it's true. I love pod racing.
I mean, yeah.
But also, is there a reason why you haven't played Bayonetta, or have you just not gotten around to it?
I didn't own a Wii U when it came out, and actually know what it's. I guess 3 was on the Switch, right?
3 was on the Switch, 2 was on the Wii U, and then the first Bayonetta was a 360 and PS3 game.
Okay, yeah.
But 2 came to the Switch.
Yeah,
right.
2 and Bayonetta 1 eventually did get ported to the Switch.
Okay.
I have but 2 objects on my desk that are not utilitarian in nature, and they are the 2 Bayonetta amiibos. I love that.
Yeah, you're talking to a big Bayonetta fan.
I love Bayonetta so much. I mean, like, listen, it's like the poster child of like #problematic, but like, man, what a game!
Yeah, what if Barbara Streisand could beat ass? I think that's a really good premise for a video game.
Yeah, what if there was a hair witch? I think is the greatest premise of a video game. I've been trying to get through Donkey Kong Bonanza. I would say I'm probably. Yeah, banana.
Ooh, banana.
It's the funnest thing to say, and you know what? Like, you hear it so many times. You get bananas fairly often. Yeah. It doesn't get old. Every time that he says it, it's like, yeah, I am interested in hearing "Ooh, banana" play again.
Mm-hmm.
I am in the part. Jared, you finished Bonanza, right?
Yeah, I almost 100%ed it, but I was like, I don't need to like grind away.
I don't have as much video game playing time as Jared does, so I am in the middle of it, and I became an ostrich. I'm in the part where that splits into 2 paths. I became an ostrich, and that's pretty fucking cool. I am now in I'm working on becoming a zebra.
Dude, you're like 40% of the way through that game.
I'm into it. I think that game is pretty fun, but I also have so many games that I need to play for content. The content monster. I've also been playing Old Skies. Merritt, do you have a history of playing like point and click adventure games?
I've played a few, but I've never been like huge on them. I've played like Monkey Island and Puzzle Agent and a few others, but
yeah. So this Wadjet Eye Games is an indie dev that has been doing it for a long time. Like, I wouldn't be, it has to be somewhere between 15 and 20 years they've been doing it. They're keeping the dream alive of point and click adventure games. Their most recent one came out this year called Old Skies, and it stars a time traveling lady who basically whose job it is to bring people who pay as a service. It's time travel as a service.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, I'm familiar with this. Yeah.
I'm about halfway through it. Jared and I, we briefly played through the very first thing, but the thing is, like, you're going back into time, but each chapter is you have a new client and you're going to a different time, point in time to do a specific thing. And then you're also like layering in some additional mechanics about like you're switching back and forth between different points in time to do different things in a very if you've ever played Day of the Tentacle, in a very Day of the Tentacle type way of you're manipulating something in the past and then benefiting from it in the future. I'm very much into Old Skies. I love it a ton. And then the other thing that I've been playing, and Merritt, you said something when we were talking about Warframe. You said something like, oh, I don't need something to take up 200 hours of my time.
Yeah.
I started Persona 3 Reload.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You fool.
A huge time sink, but I'm having such a great time. I love Persona. I got Persona pilled in Persona 4. I love Persona 4, and Persona 5 came out. I never finished 5, but I think it has some of the best UI design, some of the best video game music that's ever been made. The Persona series in general is great. I had not played 3, and they put out 3, and I waited, and then it was available for $20 American, and I said, it's time for me to buy Persona 3 Reload for $20 American.
Nice.
And I have been having an incredible time. Hey, you're in a corrupted modern Japanese like school setting. I think is fantastic. So much of the game the parts of the games I enjoy is the like life sim and the like visual novel part of it. The dungeon crawling is fine. Like, I don't think that it's bad, and I don't like hate my time doing it. But that's not really the draw for me. Like, it is something to do to break up parts of the game, but I'm not dying to dungeon crawl.
Right.
But I think that it's just like a really fantastic thing. Have you ever played any of the Personas or Metaphor, which was a huge hit last year?
No. I have played a little bit of SMT.
Yeah.
I got a little ways into SMT3 and then stopped, and I don't remember why. I think I just
Is it because it's huge and very long?
I mean, I like it. But yeah, I don't, there's all these like JRPGs that I find that genre very interesting, academically speaking, and like I played a few of them as a kid, but I didn't have a PlayStation, so once the 16-bit era ended, I kind of wasn't really in that space.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a lot of those games where if I played them as a kid, they would have completely not warped, but like altered my personality, or aesthetics or whatever. But now I'm like, oh man, do I want to like dedicate 100 hours to playing SMT on the DS? Do I want to dedicate like 50 hours to playing some MSX RPG? Like, probably not, because I don't think they'll hit the same as they would have as a child. You
have just one life to live. Also.
Yeah, and I can just watch a YouTube video and, get a sort of general sense of them. And it's not the same as playing them. I'm not going to claim that it is, but
but
for some things you just have to, you have to pick and choose, I think, right?
For sure. I unfortunately was a tween when Final Fantasy VII came out, so that it did change my brain chemistry.
Yeah, I'm sure it would have if I had had a PlayStation, but I did not. So
yeah, it was revelatory, as they say, and it's still like as much as it is like, here's all these problems, and also I wish that Square was making cool new stuff and not just rehashing the old stuff. But when they put out the remake games, I buy them and I play them. So they're doing. I am falling for their trap. Regardless.
See, for me, it was Kingdom Hearts, which is why if you and I made a game grant, I would handle the dungeon crawling and you would do all the other boring stuff, and people would love it.
So yeah, no, I've been playing just a lot of Persona 3 and Old Skies and some Bonanza, trying to keep. I would like to finish Bonanza before the year ends. I know it's not super long, but it is like hard to dedicate a whole lot of time to it. But it's all of that stuff is good. Let's finish things out with We Are the World, because this is a Wii themed episode. I went through, and the premise of this quiz is here are games that did exist, but I want both of you to guess if they came out on the Wii, and if they did, what year did they come out? And I'm gonna start off with Just Dance 2020. Merritt, do you think Just Dance 2020 came out on the Wii?
Oh, I know for a fact that it did. And I believe it came out in 2019.
Jared, what about you?
You're gonna tell me that Ubisoft kept making games for the Wii that late? I find that hard to believe, but you know what? I'll say it's true because that sounds really stupid.
And when do you think Just Dance 2020 came out?
I'm gonna go with Merritt's guess of 2019.
It's a good guess. It did. Just Dance 2020 came out on the Wii, which is hilarious.
That's psychotic.
When I started picking the games, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sort this list by last produced. And I'm like, okay, well, Just Dance. The fact that it's called 2020 is it's unbelievable. I couldn't believe it.
It's unbelievable that nothing important happened that year either.
So I know the only reason I know that is because I was in games media at the time that it came out, and I remember seeing it at what was my first E3 and what turned out to be the last E3.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, hold on. A, they're still making Just Dance games. B, they're still putting it on the Wii? There are still functional Wiis in American homes? But yeah, I believe, was that the last? I think that might have been the last game for the
that sounds right.
Yeah.
Maybe they put out another one, but I think that is the end of the yearly Just Dances.
Yeah.
FIFA 2018. I'll start with you, Jared. Do you think FIFA 2018 came out on the Wii?
Because of deductive reasoning and context clues, I'll say yes, because capitalism knows no bounds.
What do you think that it came out in 2018, like the name suggests?
No.
When would it have come out?
How about the year after?
Okay.
Does that sound silly? Sure, why not?
Merritt, do you think FIFA 2018 came out on the Wii?
So this could go one of two ways. Either they all did, and that's the bit, or maybe some didn't. I'm gonna say no, just because FIFA feels like it's kind of more of a simulation game, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like at that point they're like, nah, we don't need to do the Wii.
It's fair. So the answer is no. However, the last FIFA game that came out on the Wii was FIFA 15 in 2014, 2 years into the PlayStation 4's life.
Wow. I mean, the Wii held on there. It was a fighter,
it really did. It really, really did. They did a great job.
Way more so than the GameCube or the Wii U. It was a real fighter.
It did incredible. I also wonder how long we're going to get Switch 1 games. It has to be a minimum of 15 years from launch, right? It's going to be a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
Alvin and the Chipmunks Chipwrecked. Merritt, I'll start with you.
Oh my god. When did that movie even come? I mean, you could tell me there's been 10 Alvin and the Chipmunks movies in the past decade, and I would believe you, because I have no way of knowing. I'm going to say yes, 2014.
Okay. Jared, Alvin and the Chipmunks Chipwrecked.
I'm going to say no. No.
And what year do you...
Not a game. You made this up.
What year do you think that game came out? It came out it came out as not a number?
Sure.
Okay. The answer is yes, but it came out in 2011, which is, I think, so interesting to think about. Is Alvin and the Chipmunks because I'm thinking about things that were happening in 2011. It's like, oh man, the Arab Spring, and it's just so fun to think about an Alvin and the Chipmunk Wii game coming out in that context. I think it's extremely funny. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Jared, did Modern Warfare 3 come out on the Wii? I almost called it the Switch. The Wii.
Yeah, I think it did. It might have been one of the last before they took a long break, and I think it came out 2010.
Merritt, what do you think?
Again, I don't know how many Call of Duty games there have been, because I feel like there are 2 of every named title now. There's basically 2 Modern Warfare 3s, there's 2 Call of Duty 2s. No one's sure anymore. Modern Warfare 3, I don't even know when that came out, but I'm going to say yeah. It did. And that was in 2016.
2011, but it did come out. It did come out on the Wii. I know there was a lot of oh man, motion controls. This is gonna make first-person shooters happen, and it's Turns out, no!
Yeah.
It improved Resident Evil 4.
It did. It did. Resident Evil 4, really good.
Yeah.
It's just, the problem is you can't have a FPS, really. I mean, I know, what's that game? There's
Metroid Prime 3 did it?
Yeah, Metroid Prime 3 did it pretty well.
Steel?
Red Steel. No, but there is a game called what's it called? I forget, but they went on all these things about like, oh, we have like, you can customize like the point at which the screen turns when you move to the edge of the screen. You can customize the speed, acceleration, all this stuff, and it's still like no one really cared. And yeah,
unfortunately, it would take some time for the motion controls to actually work. Like Half-Life Alyx to come out and be like, okay, now we can do it. Merritt, do you think Sniper Elite, the first Sniper Elite, do you think that came to the Switch?
The Wii?
You mean the Wii?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, the Wii. Yes.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer. I feel like I've seen stories, like I feel like at the time there were stories like, can you believe that they're teaching children to be sniper with Wii?
I mean, that sounds like exactly what would have been
with
going on at the time.
Nintendo. It used to be Mario Jump and Pac-Man, and now it's Sniper. I'm
now
gonna say
Gun?
2012.
Jared, what do you think?
This did
Sniper
not
Elite.
come out for the Wii because I feel like Nintendo would have like put this on ice before its launch. Do I still have to give you a year?
Yeah, no. If you're saying no, I guess you don't need to. But
No.
Sniper Elite did come out, and it came out in 2010.
You got me again.
Yeah, Sniper Elite turns out. This one, things are going to start getting a little trickier here. We're about a third of the way through.
They've already been tricky.
Scribblenauts. Jared, did Scribblenauts come out on the Wii?
Okay. It was a DS game. There were sequels. I think one came for the Wii U. No, I don't think Scribblenauts came to the Wii.
What do you think?
I am also going to say no, but I think maybe the sequel did. But yeah, I'm going to say no.
Nope. This DS Heavy series didn't hit Nintendo home consoles until the Wii U in 2012.
Aha!
Final Fantasy XII Revenant Wings. The tactical
What the
RPG.
hell is that?
The tactical RPG spin-off of Final Fantasy XII.
What?
Merritt,
That's not
what do you
real.
think?
You made that up.
Is that Lightning? Is that
No, that's 13. Unfortunately,
What
this
is
is
12?
this is a offline MMO Final Fantasy 12.
Oh my god.
There's a spin-off of 12?
Wow.
is.
Yes.
What year do you know?
2011.
Jared?
You're making this up. There's no spin-off of Final Fantasy 12.
It is a real game. All of these are real games. It's whether
That's
or not they came out on the
ridiculous.
Wii. Did it come to the Wii?
I don't think it came to anything, but no.
Okay. It did not. This DS exclusive tactical RPG spinoff came out in 2007. Final Fantasy 12 is a PS2 game.
Wow.
I knew
There-
Final
people
Fantasy
were
12
hungry
was
for
a
it.
PS2 game, but I didn't think there was
Yeah.
a
It came out
handheld spin-off.
like after the PS3 launched. It was one of those.
Ugh.
Yeah, and DJ Hero 2, Jared.
Yes. I think DJ Hero 2 did come to the Wii.
What
I
year?
remember playing both of those games in college. So I'm going to say this came out 2012.
Merritt.
Yeah, I'm gonna say yes, 2011.
You're pretty close. 2010, and DJ Hero 2 did. I really thought the fact that it was DJ Hero 2 and not DJ Hero 1 would have potentially tripped you up. Here's another. Now that we've established that I'm the only one who plays JRPGs, Merritt, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles: The Crystal Bearers. Did that come out on the Wii?
Yeah, it absolutely did. It's the one where you're a guy who has mind powers, and it came out in like I want to say 2009.
Jared,
No.
a sequel to Crystal Chronicles.
It was only on the game. I have no idea. I honestly have no flippin' idea.
And Merritt is dead on the money.
Yes.
Yeah.
It did come out on the Wii, and it did come out in 2009. That's a
Yeah,
good call.
you have force powers in that one, I think.
Yeah, and it's also they're like, oh right, people play video games on their own. We should make a game that. Can be
We should
played
make
by-
a game that you don't need 3 other people, 4
Yeah.
Game Boy Advances, and 4 Game Boy Advance link cables to play.
I did play it, the original one, and loved it. But yes, it is the barrier to entry.
I never got
absurd.
to. It seemed really cool though.
It was
Then
really cool.
they put it on the DS, or no, they made a Wii version, I think, that you could play with the DSs or something, and it was just
That
really
sounds
weird.
right.
Or it was
Yeah.
like a Wii version, but there were like windows you had to like scale. It was not good.
Yeah, no. And then they eventually ported it to like the PS4 generation, and they goofed it. They didn't match up. But I do love that game. Jared, Animal Crossing Wild World.
Animal Crossing Wild World. Now, is this one of those where you're going to tell us that it's not on the Wii because this is actually like the 3DS one or something? Like, is this one of those like
It's
tricky...
almost like I gave you
that's
the name of it as a trap.
Yeah, it's a trap. I'll still
So what
say
do you
yes.
say? Okay. And then Merritt, Animal Crossing Wild World.
Yeah, it was. I think it was like 07.
Unfortunately, the answer is no. Wild World is the 2005 DS game. City Folk was a Wii game in 2008. I knew that would be trippy because like the whatever the heck they chose to call them.
Wild World, even it's like Wii
Yeah.
Wii.
Yeah. Yep. You'd think that it would be like Animal Crossing Dual City or some
Yeah.
but no, they were all about cities in the Wii version.
Hey, that was a fun era though. Like
It
when we
was.
just had to name everything like
Themed. Yeah, Advance Wars.
Advance Wars. What was it? Advance Wars? Dual something or
Yeah, they definitely had to
Dawn
Dual
of
Strike.
Dawn of Sorrow, Castlevania,
Yeah.
Dual Strike, Advance Wars Dual Strike.
I also kind of just like the simplicity of 64, of just being like, I don't know,
Yeah,
it's a
just
Superman
screw
game that
it.
came out on Nintendo 64, Superman 64.
Screw it. It's Mario Kart 64. Bomberman 64. Who cares?
I kind of like it. I know that it's lazy, but I do like it. Okay,
Yeah.
we got two more, and then we'll wrap this baby up. Merritt, Tomb Raider Legend.
God. Again, one of those series where it's been rebooted like 6 times. I could not tell you, but I'm gonna say yeah. It did because statistically, it probably did.
I mean, it's a good strategy.
Like there are
lots
so
of stuff
many
came
Wii
out.
games.
Yeah, it's a great strategy to say yes when you don't know.
I think yes, 2011.
Jared, Tomb Raider Legend.
Yes, because I can see that box art on the Wii and PS2 for some reason in my head. 2008.
Unfortunately, no. This 2006 game was a GameCube, PS2, original Xbox 360, PS3, Game Boy, and DS game, but not a
What?
Wii port for
Wait,
some
is
God
reason.
damn it.
Is this the one that was like a total nightmare? Like,
I don't think that it was a
Probably.
I think this is the one. I think this might be the last one before they rebooted for like they just rebooted to Tomb Raider.
what am I thinking of? Am I thinking of Angel of? Oh, I'm thinking of Angel of Darkness, maybe.
Yeah, that sounds right. That does sound right. That was not a great deal, a great time. Okay, last one, Jared. The Legend of Spyro: A New Beginning. I feel like you're a Spyro stan, so you better know the answer.
I am. I really love the Spyro games, but only the first 3. Much like the Crash games, other people made ones after that, and then no one cared, and then they became like toys to life things. Yeah, sure, this is real. 2015. How's that for a year?
Okay, Merritt, what do you think?
Hit me with the title again.
The Legend of Spyro: A New Beginning.
No, I don't think it was. I think this was. This was later.
And you got it right. You'd think it came out in 2006 on the GameCube, PS2, original Xbox, Game Boy, and DS, but no Wii
Wow.
version for some odd reason. You would think that a Spyro game on the Wii would be a no-brainer.
You bamboozled me, Grant.
Yeah, that was a fun one. I enjoyed that. I had a great time. You know it's going to be a fun quiz when you have a good time writing it. You're like, oh, well, this doesn't make any sense. Why would they do this? That was
I was
We
hoping
Are
you would
the
hit me
World.
with a Splinter Cell or something goofy.
No, that's too easy. Too easy.
I mean, for me, I love Splinter Cell. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Merritt, for being our the first guest who is like an actual official internet celeb of sorts and not just like one of our friends. So thank you.
No problem.
Like a professional with like a real resume. You
Look,
know what I mean?
I'll put a word in with Bubsy and we'll get him on the show. It'll be great.
Appreciate it. And remember, merrittk.itch.io, Vampirocene, check it out. Also, you have other things. Do you want to like briefly say like some of the other like the games and stuff you have?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to talk people's ears off about it, but this is I promise this is a coincidence. This is not reflective of like, I don't know, some kind of weird thing on my part. I put a game out last year called Fledgling Manor with my studio, and it's on Steam and itch. It's also about vampires. That's a coincidence. I started writing the novella way before this game started development, and then just wanted to publish the novella. I just had been sitting on it for so long that I wanted to get it out there. But Fledgling Manor is a visual novel about a reality show, and has really great art by our artist Shade, and people seem to like it. It has a 99% positive rating on Steam, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I'm on social media, although I should spend less time on there, but I am on Blue Sky, meritk.com on there, and or on Instagram if you use that. It's Merit K9 because someone had taken Merit K. So.
And that's Merit with 2 R's and 2 T's.
2 R's and 2 T's, yeah.
And then just a quick reminder, we have up, as we've recorded this, we did a Stardew stream. Jared had never played Stardew Valley, so I made him watch me play
that is a game I lost days to when I played it.
I literally have hundreds of hours in Stardew Valley. I love it.
When I played that game back in 2016, I lost whole nights, so I had to stop.
Really wonderful. And then also, so this will be coming out. We will have played Sword of the Sea on stream. If you want to see that, you can head on over to videogame.town. You can also head to our YouTube channel and see the VOD. It's getting rave reviews. I am a big fan of Abzu, so I'm excited to play. We have not recorded it yet, or we have not streamed it yet as we're recording this podcast, but I'm excited to play it and then play it in front of all of you. And then, of course, just a reminder, Jared's playing through all the Kirby games. So if you're excited about Air Riders, why don't you go read about Kirby? Videogame.town.
Yeah, videogame.town. Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, everything.
Check it out. Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.